Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. And let's get right into the information today. One take and uncut. So guys, I can be loud again today. So here we go. So first things first, right here, the world focuses on Davos, obviously in Switzerland, and the impeachment as Russia quietly and steadily increases its reserves of physical gold. This is what I'm watching. It's interesting that the BRICS nations are purchasing more gold than ever, along with the US, of course, because they will not be left behind. But we have Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So keep an eye on this. Now, December data shows they added over 9 metric tons, bringing total to well over 2,200 metric tons. Something's happening here. Now, this is speculation, of course, but the data does not lie. So just to, feel free to pause the screen if you want to take a look at this information. All right. And then, breadcrumb's interesting, but but when will we see the price adjustment for gold to accommodate this, global reset? And hypothetically, this is very possible. We cannot bank on it, but it is interesting to talk about. And yes, you have to speculate on speculative investments. All right. And then, of course, I just wanted to wonder as well. That's what I'm excited for. And if it does hypothetically happen, it'll happen fast when it does. Last all-time high price for gold was over $1,800, nearing $1,900, rather than, the $1,500 or $1,600 that it's at today. And this was in 2011. Keep that in mind. All right. So I think that when everything's, kicks back in, I know, Peter Schiff, Robert Kiyosaki, big gold bag holders widely believe in well over 2K or even, $5K or even $8,000 per ounce for gold. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying my personal beliefs on how I could see it playing out if there were some crazy black swan event and if QE was, unsustainable eventually months down the road. Anything's possible, but I did want to discuss that is potential. All right, so we know that Davos is occurring right now, the World Economic Forum. And so here's a few points. As we can see on the World Economic Forum website, we can see the itinerary, and here's some topics that they will be discussing. So from token assets to a token economy. Interesting, talking about blockchain, of course, securities, real property. I mean, we already know about the importance of asset fractionalization, which I just repeat all the time. And notice, without creating new systemic financial risks, of course, they're not going to be all dependent on one another. It'll be distributed technology, reducing intermediary access. We understand the efficiencies that come with that. Next, escaping the liquidity trap. Need your money, right when you need it, on demand. Interesting. Talking about quantitative easing, monetary policy tools, fiscal stimulus, of course, global debt. We understand the need for this. This is nothing new. And of course, we understand the benefits that cryptocurrencies, or digital assets at least, can add to this, especially XRP, specifically designed for liquidity. I mean, for God's sake, the actual product is called on-demand liquidity, and its sole purpose is utilizing XRP to scale and have instant settlement, not just payment. All right, next, how to tax the digital economy. This is pretty interesting. Obviously, I'm waiting for, a more standardized procedure. I know a lot of channels have discussed this, and I agree with them. Just talking about eventually in the future getting real-time payments for when you're working, getting paid the same day, but also being, instead of going to a third party to do your taxes or using a software to, do your taxes at the end of the year, having taxes automatically deducted from your accounts or even from your paycheck right away. I'm just surprised that, we're not at that point yet, because everything else seems, so automated. So it's simply a matter of time. Interesting they're discussing this, so I'll keep my eye on. Typically at these conferences, though, they stay super, super high level, and it'll help kind of decide the route they're going to be going when they decide to meet in smaller groups and delegate. Next, shaping the global growth agenda. In 2019, global debt levels soared to a record $250 trillion, guys. Race to the bottom for interest rates. Of course, there's discussions about, negative interest rates, inflation, etc. They're not going away. Keep an eye on this. And then another thing, how to measure a new economy. And I'm always looking at who's speaking, if you recognize any names as well. Yeah, there's nothing I wanted to cover there. And then lastly, this is what I did want to emphasize, the global economic outlook. We see Mrs. Christine, or Madam Christine Lagarde, the president of the European Central Bank, discussing as well, along with Stephen Mnuchin. So keep an eye on this, climate change, inclusive growth and financial inclusion, geopolitical risks. This is all about mitigating anything. Notice fiscal and monetary measures. So, I mean, a lot of people, are saying, oh, wow, I really, really hope that, XRP is involved. Of course, we have Kristalina as well, the new managing director of the International Monetary Fund. Guys, I would love for XRP to be involved. Is it possible? Absolutely. Am I banking on it? No. I just, I see a future for XRP regardless, but I want them to talk about this because it's literally screaming in people's faces that, Ripple's been developing the solution and XRP has been around for years already, having that foresight to have this technology. So regardless, whether it's no publicity or not, they're talking about the exact problems that XRP aims to solve, and that's bullish for me. They're not going to publicly announce it. If anything were to be used, or even if XRP were to be added someday to an electronic SDR with a basket of like 12 currencies, yeah, I mean, that does not seem outlandish to me. I have an open mind. For anybody that's cynical, that's fine, but if you're too cynical, you're never going to take any chances, and you're not going to have the upside potential that I will. All right, so let's get into the information briefly. So we got XRP_Storts sharing this article on the XRP Daily. So we have List Technologies, which is based out of the Kingdom of Bahrain, and I always, pronounce that incorrectly, was integrating Ripple and Interledger Protocol IOP between January and March of 2019. Excuse me, I'm doing one take and I'm running out of breath. But as we can see here, guys, senior software engineer that worked for List Technologies. You can see it right here, integrating with blockchain Ripple and IOP, real-time cross-border payments, gross settlement services, obviously using XRP, of course, or at least IOP with atomic swap technology. Regardless, still a good thing. And then List main focus is to empower and support the development of growth of the Islamic finance industry by helping the Islamic financial institutions digitize, deliver, oversee, and support them in their technology transformation journey globally. Okay, so keep an eye on this group, just another one to add to the list of integration. Next, Leonidas sharing this on XRP Arcade. So again, we do have the sources here with Tranglo, and then of course with AIIB. So again, the biggest fintech deal of the year has landed. AIIB now rides on Tranglo, I'm hoping that's how you pronounce it, Remittance Express, to benefit over 1.2 billion of its app users instantly. This is bullish. I do like it. And basically, if you guys think this is a stretch, again, this is all financial inclusion of payments. We want everything connected similarly to, with Visa, Earthport, and obviously Ripple and those connections. You do have to connect the dots. None of these investments are just going to say it outright. Otherwise, the price of XRP would be, substantially and significantly higher than it already is. You have to at least recognize these trends, have the foresight, and invest and risk accordingly, just like anybody that saw early stock with Apple or Amazon. You have to see the potential, and yes, there's always a risk, and that is why diversification is important. But if you diversify among the top assets that have true fundamentals, and you're not just focusing on mere price or suppression at the time, that is when the payout will be good. All right, so this article is really, really good, extremely concise. If you guys, I'm just going to kind of go through it briefly. So Tranglo is working with integrating RippleNet according to their profile. She's handling the RippleNet integration with in-house systems since November. And again, this is dating back, and of course they were at Swell as well discussing this. You can see the picture here. Tranglo is also partnered with Alipay a few weeks ago to facilitate seamless cross-border, blah, blah, blah. 1.2 billion users, we already know. Now, this is what I want to emphasize, and I'm happy they say this because obviously there's a lot of hype. This, of course, does not mean that Alipay is a Ripple partner, but indirectly, Ripple could be serving Alipay's users through Tranglo. And ideally, this is exactly what we want. We just want more and more connections, more and more integrations, so then if that ever was a possibility, the rollout is seamless, or potentially even just a flip of the switch. All right, it's all software defined. Easy. All right, next, this is going to be brief, but anyways, the AIIB, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. I do want all of you, and I'm sure, 90% of you already know what this is, this group. You're keeping an eye on them. I think that they'll have, a significant impact in the future, of course, right in, China as well, along with the World Bank, IMF, as we can see listed here. Keep an eye on their group, keep an eye with gold, keep an eye on HSBC. I know there's tons of those conspiracies, those articles that came out, with a lot of people and so, self-proclaimed insiders. All I'm saying, keep an open mind and let's keep an eye on them. So investing in digital asset infrastructure, digital infrastructure can increase the efficiency and sustainability of traditional infrastructure sectors through the adoption of new technologies. We've initiated a call for public consultations on the AIIB draft digital infrastructure. We're going to see more and more of this. Obviously, I know with the World Economic Forum going with the Go Green initiative and climate change, proof of work projects are not going to look favorable. And I believe that in terms of digital assets, we're going to be moving towards proof of stake, delegated proof of stake, proof of a consensus or proof of correctness, tomato, tomato with XRP. Things of that nature that are much more efficient, because that is, what this world's moving towards is better forms of alternative energy. So keep an eye on that as well. Let me see if I'm missing anything. then right here, I also like this. So Rhythm Trader usually posts a lot of Bitcoin tweets, but just saying breaking news, central banks announce a group that will assess the what, why, and how of creating a central bank digital currency themselves. And these groups include Bank of England, Bank of Canada, Bank of Japan, European Central Bank. We got Swiss National Bank, Bank of International Settlements. We have just massive, massive groups. And I've seen this before, but I do not know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. I'm sure some of my subscribers will know and be able to let me know. But guys, this is nothing new. BOJ, Bank of Canada, BOE, they're, many of them. We almost have the entire country of Canada connected with RippleNet in some way, both directly and indirectly. We already know, directly 300 plus clients directly integrated and ready to go. And then again, indirectly, they can go well over 12,000, if not significantly more. And that is exactly what we're looking at. And whether, central bank digital currencies are used or the banks still just stick with fiat or create their own walled gardens, JP Morgan creating their own domestic currency. Of course, it's centralized, so, be able to scale domestically and send tons of transactions much faster, be private, all the benefits. But when they want to send cross-border, they still need interoperability protocols, even if that's ILP, and a bridge asset, whether that is, XRP or some other in-house solution. The idea is to use XRP so that, it's trustless on a permissionless basis. And there's so many benefits. David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple, one of the, original architects helping, working with Arthur Brito, Jed, all of these guys, has been explaining this for years. And now every time there's newcomers that come on Twitter, come on YouTube, they express their concerns, acting like they know this ecosystem, expressing one thing of fear, and people just don't get it. They don't look into it and take, a couple hours just to do some reading, and you'll realize every single piece of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that I've ever encountered regarding XRP, its appreciation in price, with high value payments going through it, the technology, etc., you can put it to rest. And it's just ridiculous that people, someone will ask me something, go, gotcha, you don't know the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you, and you know what I'll do? I bet I know someone that has the answer, or I bet I can find out in due time. And sometimes I don't have time to answer every single YouTube comment. The information is out there, guys. Please don't rely on me entirely. Don't rely on a single YouTuber, a blogger, anything like that. I just want to emphasize that. Now, in closing, there's tons and tons of hype. I think tons of people are, dragging each other on. And I just want to emphasize this, and I put this out earlier. So do not trust anyone, especially self-proclaimed riddlers or insiders. You don't have to thank anyone. Bloggers, YouTubers, insiders, Twitter profiles. I mean, the only people you really have to thank are any researchers that helped you, put you in the right direction. But at the end of the day, you're the one that decided to take responsibility, you bought, and you held through this bear market. When XRP does go up, you only have to thank yourselves, guys. So I just want to say that it is all thanks to you. You owe nobody nothing. Be grateful and be sure to give back in the future if and when you are able to. So with that, guys, be sure to like the button, or hit the like button. I don't know why I can't talk. Share this video around if you, enjoyed what you saw or heard or found something interesting. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you in the next one. I need a drink of water. Thanks.